Time now for news from the eNCA Money Desk. Rapiwa Madzena joining us now. Rapiwa, I was hoping you'd bring us some good news, but you haven't got good news, and it's all about repossession of homes, which is really sad news, actually.
Very, very sad because of the tough conditions that we're living in because of COVID-19 and the economy, Sally. So what we're seeing here is that many South Africans are in danger of losing their homes because of lockdown, job cuts, and the tough economic condition. What's worse is South Africa's law allows that. So if you default for about 3 months or more, your monthly repayments, the bank or other mortgage lenders can cancel the agreement, repossess your house and sell it in order to recover the outstanding monies you owe them. And joining me now to discuss this and really how consumers can protect themselves in these times is Sarah Nicholson, who's the commercial manager at JustMoney. Sarah, thank you very much for your time this evening. I suppose the first obvious question here is it possible for consumers to actually protect themselves from having their homes taken away in this time?
Yes, there are a number of options available to our consumers, to protect us during this time. We know how difficult it is. We actually did a snapshot survey about a couple of months ago just to find out how did the COVID, lockdown actually impact South Africans. And what we learned was that about 3/4 of South Africans said it had a significant or very significant impact on them. So from that, and of course we also know that payment holidays are coming to an end now, and we can slowly see that economic activity is taking place again. But as consumers, we're still trying to recover from what's happened and, start earning an income again for some people. And now we need to, on top of that, potentially look at having our homes repossessed. So in cases like this, I really like to say that prevention is better than cure. If you see you're heading towards a situation where you might not be able to make your monthly mortgage payments, now that the South African law allows for 3 months to pass and then the bank can basically take your home from you, well, they've got to go through the due process, but at that point they have the legal right to do that. So you want to prevent this as soon as possible. So if you see that you're getting into that situation, rather look at what options are available to you, whether that's renting out your property, perhaps restructuring your loan over a longer period of time so that you've got, a smaller installment to pay. Or alternatively, perhaps you need to look at, selling your home because you're likely to get a better rate, resale value for your home rather than if the bank had to take it and get it through or sell it through an auction. So those are kind of the things that you could potentially do. If you get to a state where, you're in that situation, speak up to your bank as soon as possible. You've realized now that this is a potential problem. Get hold of your bank as soon as possible and start making a plan rather than leaving it for longer and then you are in a much more difficult position to, save your home.
Yeah. You do mention in your survey some very scary stories of people who've had their homes taken away. I just want to get a sense, has there been a change in the regulatory or policy environment to protect homeowners more than a bank would be if a bank is not getting its mortgage repayments every month?
I'm not sure of any recent regulatory changes. I do know that, as we said earlier, if you do default for 3 months, then it's possible that the bank can, take your home from you. You want to be looking at what options are available before this happens. You've got to look at prevention. It really is better than cure.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up the payment holidays which were introduced by a lot of the big banks and other significant lenders in the market. Is that also an option in terms of extending the payment holiday after the 3 months is over, just to give people some time to get back on their feet?
Again, this is where you want to get in conversations with your banks as soon as possible. For some banks, they are tightening this up, so they're not giving payment holidays as easily or as freely, if I could put it that way. But it is something that you can have a conversation with your bank. And perhaps, if you are in good standing with the bank, then they're more willing to look at that with you. And you can look at extending the loan period and getting a payment holiday. It is an option for you. But again, just be aware that if you do this, it's a short-term solution. So while it might help you now, don't forget that it is going to extend the life of your loan. You're going to have to pay back for a longer period of time. It's not It's not a long-term solution.